Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Back in the building. It seems like it's been forever since I've been here, ladies and gentlemen, but glad to be back. And when was the last time I was on? Last Thursday? At least with NBK. Last Thursday? Maybe last Friday? I don't even remember. But seems like it's been a while. Nothing happening with the New York Knicks, though. Nothing really to talk about. Guess we could just get on and talk about anything. Big shout out to everybody that's here on YouTube, everybody that's here on Sportscaster. And of course, this is Knicks Weekly, so you know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be live on on YouTube for a little while, along with Sportscaster, and then we'll switch on over to Sportscaster directly. So make sure that you join me on Sportscaster when we do switch over. And the link, ladies and gentlemen, is in the description of this video. I'm also putting the link right here in the YouTube chat, so you can switch over when that time comes. But look, the NBA is starting up real soon, ladies and gentlemen. So at least we'll have some stuff to talk about then. I know we're not we're not Brooklyn Nets fans here. But they're a New York team. So I'll probably follow the Brooklyn Nets when everything starts back up. They're getting to the bubble and all of that stuff. Probably follow them then, just so we have something to talk about, something to look at. Because who knows what's going to happen if the Knicks are ever going to get a chance to work out or do whatever they're going to do. And Marc just joined me in the chat, so, we should have a good one. Got Marc here in the building. I guess we're just going to talk scenarios, man. Scenarios. What's the scenario? What's the rhymes? Anyway, Stephen A. Smith, he jumped on a whatever TV show the other day, or a radio show, and he said, as far as he's concerned, what he feels is that Doc Rivers would be interested in coaching the New York Knicks. Now, we all know Stephen A. Smith, he's always got something to say. It is what it is. That's his job. That's what he does. But he said that Doc Rivers would be interested in coaching the New York Knicks. But clearly that wouldn't happen till next season or something like that. So his scenario is that maybe the New York Knicks would hire Mike Miller, because what he hears is that Mike Miller has a chance to be hired back as the New York Knicks head coach. That they would hire Mike Miller for a year while they're waiting for Doc Rivers. Now, Doc Rivers, I believe, signed a contract extension with the Los Angeles Clippers. Right? Signed a contract extension with the Los Angeles Clippers last year. It was not disclosed at that time how long the extension was for. Could be a long-term extension. Could have been a short-term extension. We don't know. We don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, if there was a chance that Doc Rivers could be the coach of the New York Knicks, I would want Doc Rivers to be the coach of the New York Knicks. There's no doubt about it. I like Doc Rivers. He has the ingredients as far as I'm concerned, with the things that I'm looking for in a head coach. He's got the grit, the grind. He's got that kind of that fatherly type of, figure. He's got those things. Development, if we're talking about development, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. He did a good job when the Clippers were young, when they had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan and Chris Paul and all those guys. And those guys were young at the time. Did a good job with them. I'm gonna get over here to Marc. Marc, I need you to do me a favor, man, because you got it. You got the sound in the background, and I can hear it coming through. All right. There you go. Now I don't hear it coming through. I said, let me get to Marc. Marc, what's going on, man? So this is what Stephen A. Smith is talking about, right? He's saying. Now he's not saying. I didn't even listen to it, but just from what I read. I didn't listen to the show, but just from what I read, he's saying, I guess he's just throwing a scenario out there. Just throwing a scenario out there. Right? The Knicks keep Mike Miller for a year and then look to hire Doc Rivers at the end of next season. Next summer or something like that. First of all, I don't think that's fair to Mike Miller. Right? That's just not cool to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
You don't hire him for a year knowing that you're going to let him go. I guess if you're Mike Miller and the Knicks say, hey, we want to keep you as the interim head coach for the next year, and then we're going to look to hire somebody else, you probably take the job, but I still think that's kind of dirty. You know what I'm saying? Either give the man the job or don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't string him along like that. That's the way I feel. You know what I mean? And look, Doc Rivers, if we could get Doc Rivers right now or for next season, yes, I would definitely do it. But I'm not going to wait a whole year to try to expedite this rebuild or whatever you want to call it. I'm not doing that. There's plenty of coaching candidates out there. Plenty of good coaching candidates out there. I'm not going to say, we're going to put this whole thing on hold because Doc Rivers may come. He might come in a year. Nah, I'm not doing that. Not doing that, man.
You got this pandemic, got people saying all types of stuff because their brain is fried. But listen, man, I'm not wasting another year to watch another year of nothing again, man. Like, number one, why would Doc Rivers leave the Clippers when he has two superstar type players? He don't even like coaching young players. If y'all could ever see from the way he coaches his team, he don't let young players play. He like playing with veteran players because he like to win now. So, listen.
That's what Tom Thibodeau's going to do.
He's different because Tom Thibodeau's different because when he did get the Bulls, there was a younger team compared to the Clippers because he got Chris Paul damn near in his prime. DeAndre Jordan was about 20, 24, 25. Blake was about 20, 23, 24, 25. He got them a little older compared to when Tom Thibodeau got Derrick Rose and them boys. Derrick Rose was only 20 years old when he got him. So it was totally different. He had got a young Noah. He had a young Taj Gibson. Deng was a little bit older, but not too. He was young too. So again, Doc Rivers, I'm not waiting another year. I'm just not doing that. Please, I'm not doing that. I'm trying to just have a good spirit about the Knicks, and it's hard. So giving Mike Miller, listen, man, what are we doing here? What are we talking here? Why would you even do that to a person? And what kind of person would take a job knowing that he's going to get fired next year?
Well, yeah, right. 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 Well, I think that he would. I think Mike Miller would because other than that, he's going to be an assistant. So the pay is going to be more. Even if he's just the interim head coach, the pay is going to be more. Right.
Yeah,
at least for a year. So I'm sure that Mike Miller, he seems like, the kind of guy that would probably agree to anything, not to anything, but would agree, to do, things to help out the organization, help out the team, that type of a guy. I don't hear his name coming up for any other coaching gig in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So if the Knicks said, hey, we're going to let you be the interim head coach for the next year, he would probably do it. I just don't think it would be fair to him. I just don't think it would be fair to him.
So my whole thing is, right, if there wasn't so many coaches out there or so many valuable coaches out there, I'd have said, let's go with Mike Miller again, right? But the fact is, many valuable coaches out there, it will look bad if the Knicks will go after Mike Miller after all these names that's being linked to the Knicks right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what Stephen A. saying, because his voice runs a mile, and having Doc Rivers in his mouth, it's going to be another speculation in the news media because these journalists grab onto any little thing that they get, especially during this pandemic. So no. And then there'll be another year of taking guys in and out of another system. Listen, I don't got time for this. I got people contracts coming up. I want to see some development to a point where I feel great about my young players. So Doc Rivers, listen, you can stay where you at, man. We will be just fine with the coaches that we're looking at right now. And listen, Doc Rivers is not leaving Kawhi Leonard and Paul George because even when their contracts coming up, where are they going? Where are they going?
No way. What are their contracts? Who?
The Paul George and Kawhi?
Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. What are their contracts?
Basically, after this year, they could sign another 4 year deal in the next contract. But where are they going? Where are they going?
I mean, true, right. Where are they going?
Right. Why would Kawhi leave Toronto, right, to go to LA, his hometown? He'd have better off stayed in Toronto if that was the case. But where are they going? Why would Paul George leave OKC to go to the Clippers to leave again playing with another superstar? Where are they going? So Stephen A., stop it, man. Like, just stop it. Because I'm really getting sick and tired of these news people on TV, man. Because they just say anything. They just trying to squeeze any little juice of news.
Well, maybe they just speculate in the same way that we speculate. I don't know. Or maybe he heard something or knows something, that we don't know about Doc Rivers and, him saying somewhere along the line that he wouldn't mind coaching for the New York Knicks. I don't know. I don't see him leaving.
I don't see him leaving LA, man.
I don't see him leaving. It would depend on what happens with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Looking at their contracts. But hold on, looking at their contracts. Paul George, remember the Clippers traded for Paul George, right?
Yeah.
So his contract expires in 2021. And then there's a player option for 2021. Kawhi Leonard, the same thing. His contract expires in the summer of 2021. And then there's a player option for 2021, 2022. Both those players have an option. So now, the only way you can speculate that Doc Rivers would even consider leaving the Los Angeles Clippers is if both those players in 2021 said, I'm not coming back to the Clippers and I'm moving on, then Doc Rivers would maybe say, okay, I'm looking to do something else.
I'm
looking to do something else. That's the only way. And that's probably the reason why he said next summer, the summer of 2021, right?
Because, like I said, if those two end up saying no, then Doc Rivers will leave. He would leave. Because then the Clippers will be in such a hellhole because they gave up so many assets to get both Kawhi and Paul George in that deal, because that's how it panned out. And I just do not see those two studs leaving LA, where they're from, their home. They're making well over $150 million playing at home, and they're a winning team, a contending team.
Yeah.
Like, why would they leave to come to New York unless James Dolan gave them an extra $200 million or stake in the Knicks or something?
I guess it's all speculation. You know what I mean?
That's all speculation.
And look, I'm not trying to wait for another year. Let's just get this thing. Let's just get this thing on and popping. Plenty of coaches out there. Let's get this thing on and popping. I want to give a shout out to Rosie Baseball Love on Sportscaster. Thank you for the tip. Shout out to everybody that's on Sportscaster. Starting Five. Die Hard Knicks signed in. Gary Singh, Kev Berg. Big shout out to all you guys, man. Thank you guys for being here. But look, I'm not trying to wait another year.
Nah, man.
To hire a coach. We need to get this thing popping, man. Forget all this craziness. Let's get this thing going.
Lately, I've been having change of heart of the young players that we have on our team, and I would love to see them prosper on our team. So, like I said, I'm looking at dudes like Kevin Knox, man. And I'm just looking at dudes like RJ. Like, those two to me, right? How I look at those two are very, very important to what we can do with this team and just how we could use them, especially a dude like Kevin Knox. Because again, it's not that I don't like his skill set. I just don't like his motive when it comes to the game. But when you look at his skill set and the things that he do, he has something in him that needs to be slapped out of And it's there because the dude has the incredible first set to get to where he want to get to. He is highly athletic when he wants to be. It's like he's like one of those children that is so quiet and have them freakish. Like if you mess with that child, he end up beating you up. That's what Kevin Knox remind me of. He had all these tools to be a capable NBA player, but again, he needs years in the league. He needs maturity, yes, and he needs structure, and he needs a style of play that the Knicks hasn't given him for 2 years, and that's on the Knicks. That's on the Knicks, man. And it's just the motor thing that bothers me. But I always said, if a package came along where it was decent enough, I would give Kevin Knox up in a heartbeat, depending on the package of a player. But as of right now, I'm stuck with Kevin Knox. So I have to have some type of confidence in him, which I've been, throughout the years of having him, because he can shoot, dribble, and get to where he want to get to. Yeah, that is an asset to our team. And plus, he's young, and then you have RJ, and then you could play him. You can play him at the 2, and you can play him at the 3. I don't think about the 4 because I don't think he's strong enough.
You can play who at the 2 or the 3?
Kevin Knox, just because he can shoot the basketball.
Bro, you can play. You playing Kevin Knox at the 2?
Why not?
Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark. The 3 or the 4. The 3 or the 4, Mark. Come on, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Wait. Mark, they tried that already, and that worked out. That worked out very bad.
Bro, we already complained about his defense. Do you think he's going to play defense on shooting guards in the NBA? Who is he chasing around screens, bro? Who is he chasing around screens? Come on, man.
The slowest guard in the NBA.
How many shooting guards? How many valuable shooting guards is even in the league?
Yeah, but Mark.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on. One at a time. Go ahead, Mark. Okay. One at a time. Go ahead, Mark.
How many shooting guards are top tier in the league is what I'm saying when you really think about it.
They don't have to be top tier. He can't guard them. They don't have to be top tier.
And
so
Mark,
what makes you think you can guard 4s?
Mark,
because he's slow enough to do it.
Yeah. We saw this with
most 4s aren't that fast.
David Fizdale tried to put him at the 2, and it did not work at all. It was stupid. It was wrong.
I'm not saying full time like he starts at the 2. I'm saying like you can maneuver him around the 2 when you have a decent lineup on the floor. I'm not saying permanent.
All right, you make a little. Okay, you make a little.
No, Kev. He does not make sense. No, Kev. It's not working, bro. It's not working. It's not working. You're not.
Hey, listen.
So you telling me Kevin Knox can't play 2 guard for 5 minutes in the game?
Wait, I'm trying to look at it from both sides. I thought the conversation was putting him at the 2 full time.
No.
I agree. That right, totally. But
I don't want him there ever. I don't want him there ever.
I
don't want him there ever.
That's one of the reasons why it's bad.
But let me, Sam Gilbo, if there's a situation where he's caught in a pick or something like that, he's got no choice but to defend
Obviously that. But I don't want him. Hold up. I don't want him in a position where you're saying you are the shooting guard for these next 5 minutes.
No, I'm not saying that.
Hold up. Where you saying you are the shooting guard for these next 5 minutes. Any basketball game, you're going to have switches. You're going to get caught playing defense on a shooting guard. But that cannot be his assignment for any length of time on the floor, in my opinion. He is not fast enough to guard shooting guards. You know what I'm saying? I understand that he can shoot the ball. He's a guy that can maybe come off screens and do some things like that. But you can do that from the 3 and the 4 position. You don't have to do it from the 2 position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's not going to be...
Yeah, you're right. That's more his speed, the 3 and the 4.
He's not that smart enough defensively to guard.
Hold on, guys. This guy is a 6'9", slow-footed dude. The only way, right, and this would never happen, would be if you had guys who are taller than him occupying the 3, the 4, and the 5. Obviously, the 4 and the 5. But you'd have a very slow lineup. Another thing, Kevin Knox does not do a good job of creating off the dribble. Off his own dribble. He's not a play creator like that. He needs plays to be created for him. So third of all, he is a high dribbler. These are the worst things to have for a shooting guard. To even think that he played that for 5 minutes, you'd have to think Fizdale's back coaching a team and putting Portis at like the 3 and like Mitchell Robinson at the 4 and somebody bigger at the Knox is not that at all. He is a 4 through and through. He's a 4 who's a space 4. Don't put him anywhere near those 2s. He'll get abused. Your team will lose terribly. It is the dumbest.
He get abused at the 4. He get abused at the 4.
Well, that's up to Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox has developed a post game. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, but he has the body size and type to defend 4s, right? He has the body size and type to defend 4s. Listen to 2s. I mean, just a couple of shooting guards across the NBA.
Go ahead.
Just a couple of shooting guards across the NBA, and some of these guys are hybrid guards as well, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
But okay, James Harden. Okay, obviously. Okay. Paul George. Paul George. You got Klay Thompson, Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday. You can play the one of the 2. All right. Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Damn.
Donovan Mitchell.
Damn.
All right. CJ McCollum. Hold on. CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum.
I take that back.
Victor Oladipo.
Damn.
Right? Come on, bro. D'Angelo Russell.
My bad.
No, Tim, keep going.
Buddy Hield. You got Buddy Hield.
Tim Hardaway.
Gary Harris.
I can put Buddy Hield on here.
Karis LeVert. I mean,
I ain't gonna front. Damn, there's some shooting guards at the top.
Come on, bro.
I ain't gonna hurt you. There's some shooting guards at the top. My bad.
Yeah.
But it's that shooting that I like. And I just like, you could deploy. You could use it in so many ways. I'm not saying like, yo, boy, you're gonna play the 2 guards for 10 minutes. I'm just saying like, if there's a lineup where you could put him there, for some minutes. And it's valuable. You can. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you can't clearly.
Well, where is Kevin Knox that versatile? Where do we get
what
this?
Do you mean he's not versatile? How's he not versatile, Gammo?
Where is he not versatile? Where is he versatile? He doesn't have a post-up game. He's not the most adept driver to the basket. Just to kill Marc's point, this is the same Marc who said that Kevin Knox. Hold up. You're the same guy who said that Kevin Knox plays better with pace versus a slow setup offense. So if that's the case, that means he's not versatile, because if you're versatile, you can play in various types of offenses. So you're just basically
no. Hold on. No. I said
that's what versatility is, right?
Hold on. I said he plays a lot better when there's pace, but he can also play half court, meaning he's setting up. He's
that wasn't. Chad, can y'all please tell me, was this what Marc was saying in the last episode? Because I was arguing that he needs passes for him, not necessarily needs a slow pace. What's the name? But and then you guys made the argument that he plays he's not a slow motion,
But Gilmore, as much as we kill Knox, the coaching staff really doesn't put him in the best position.
I agree, but Kevin, that means he's not versatile. That also means he is not, because he's not a guy who can create off the fly. He is not that type of guy. When was the last time you've seen Knox have a series of games where he's taking guys off the dribble, shot the ball, and scored in a myriad of ways?
He shoots rather than takes people off the dribble.
Wait. He does not have an elite first step. Wait, he does not have an elite first step.
I didn't say nothing about elite.
He doesn't use it.
But I see it from time to time. He can get to the basket. He doesn't use it from time to time, but he has an elite first step, bro.
See, I kind of agree with Marc here. I kind of agree with Marc here. I think that.
Wait, hold on. Where is the elite first step? You guys are making up stuff.
Hold up. Relax. Hold up.
He does have a step. He does have a little bit.
Elite first step.
Hold up. I don't think he has an elite first step. I don't think he has an elite first step.
A quick first
step.
But he has a first step. But he has a first step.
But I do believe that he is versatile.
He is, man. The dude
hold up. Let me talk. He may need to develop his game, but he can catch the ball and go coast to coast. He may not be the best at it, but he can do it. He can come off screens. He can slash to the basket. He can catch and shoot. Those are
6'3".
different areas of the floor that he can score. He may need to work on a post-up game, but those are different areas that he can score. And I have seen him go off the dribble to the basket.
What are the percentages for those play types? And hold up.
But
Before anybody goes.
wait a minute. It's not always about the percentages when you're developing.
That's it.
Hold up. No, stop. Hold up. Calm down. It's not always about the percentages. When you are developing and learning, it's about, can you do the skill?
There you go.
The percentages start to come later, but can you do the skill? Can you execute a skill?
Wait, hold up. You just contradicted yourself. If I execute a skill, that means I have
No, it's not. It's executing a skill. I can have perfect form on my jump shot and miss. It does not mean that I did not execute the skill. I can have perfect.
That means I'm not.
No, listen. I can have perfect footwork. My stance can be right. I can have the straight L form. I can let it go, perfect follow through, and miss the shot.
Okay.
I executed the skill. I did not make the basket. There is a skill, and then there's making a basket. And when you're in development, you worry about the skill. Can they do the skill? Can they execute the skill? Can they execute the footwork? Can they execute the mechanics? Can they execute those things? Will they have to learn to finish? Yes, they got to learn to finish. But I do believe that he is versatile enough to play in different spots on the floor. He just got to develop it.
So that means that every player, almost every player that comes to the NBA that's put into that role of potentially being, offense. So say 1, 2, 3, whatever, even 4, 5, whatever you want to call it. They are all versatile until they show they're not versatile. You can't be.
You have some people that can't execute the skill.
I'm not saying Kevin Knox can. Hold on. I'm not saying Kevin Knox cannot develop this. Take that away from the point. When you say somebody is versatile, that means that they're showing a level of proficiency in doing it. I'm not saying this guy's shooting at 50% or whatever. I'm not saying that. But if you're talking about his percentage, that is important, because if a guy comes into the NBA and you say, yo, he is versatile at doing this and that. Yes, the percentages could be higher, but the percentages at least have to be near league average to be like, all right, there's some discernible skill or versatility what he's doing. Just because Kevin Knox can do all these things in terms of he can set the footwork, if he's not executing in terms of scoring or hitting the jumper or whatever, you cannot call somebody versatile.
I disagree.
There may be potential to do it. There may be potential to do it. You can't provide somebody versatile.
I mean, you got the potential there, but that's what Marc is saying. If you listen before you came in,
I agree with.
Hold up.
I agree with 1,000%.
But listen, before you came in, Marc said, I'm starting to change what I'm thinking about some of these young players and the potential that they have on the team when we were talking about coaches. And then that's where he started going into Kevin Knox and being a versatile player, looking at the potential to be versatile and playing different spots on the floor. That's what he was saying.
But you guys were going on about versatility.
But he does have that
potential. And I agree, potential's there. But we're looking at Kevin Knox and saying, yo, Kevin Knox. And it's like, no, he has not been able to show that. And I think that we get.
I disagree. I think I've seen him go off the basket to the cup.
He don't do it consistently.
It may not be consistent, but I've seen him do it. Right? You're right, Marc. He's done it.
Anecdotal. I've seen. Put like this. I've seen. Who's that dude who looks like Steve Urkel on the Pistons? Who used to be on the Knicks? The point guard. He looks like a chipmunk in the face. What's this dude's name? Can't remember his damn name. The point guard on the Pistons.
Talking about.
Can't remember his name. This dude hit how many threes in a game one time? Like 6 or 7? Yeah, these guys may have the potential. And I think he's shooting good the three now.
But he has a higher potential because he's younger, bro.
I'm not talking about potential, but the thing about it is, again, you're talking about anecdotal, right? I've seen guys do this. I've seen guys do that. The anecdotal does not matter unless you're providing me with trends to say, yo, this guy can do this at a consistent rate. And I think with Knox is that, yes, I want Knox to be a beast for this team. Hold up. When Knox was here with the Summer League, we all saw, I was one of the first people like, yo, Knox is about to kill it this year. He came in stronger, was going to the basket almost stronger. I was giving this dude praise for shooting through. I'm not one of these Knox haters. But what we do as Knicks fans too many times with guys that we draft, we fall in love with certain players and we're not objective with them. Kevin Knox has not
been the most objective with the kid
to be consistent in much of the things that we think that he can do. We can say and talk about potential, and I agree. But like I said, if we get new guys who can do what he's doing better, and for any position, not just Knox, I'm going with those guys.
Well, I mean clearly. Hold on. Okay. Let me.
He's versatile. He's not versatile if his percentages are low at those positions.
I disagree. But let me take care of some business real quick, and I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen who are on YouTube, we'll get ready to switch on over to Sportscaster. So please switch over to Sportscaster with me, and we can continue this debate. We got more stuff to talk about. All right. So make sure that you join me right now. The link is in the description of this video. And it's also in the YouTube chat right now. So make sure that you get there, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about. As a matter of fact, the link is in the description. I can't get it into the whatchamacallit here. So go into the description, click on the link, and join us over on Sportscaster right now. All right, join us on Sportscaster right now. And yeah, man, let's get with it. Let's continue this conversation. YouTube, appreciate you guys. I do before I get out of here, I do want to recognize my man. Well, I want to recognize Payback Carter. He asked me about Killian Hayes. All right, and we're going to talk about Killian Hayes and him interviewing with the New York Knicks on Sportscaster. So go ahead, join us on Sportscaster right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all on Sportscaster. Peace.